We're either gonna get busy living or get busy dying. Now remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. I gotta say that again. Either we're gonna get busy living or get busy dying. You know, just this week I was driving from the gym and it's early in the morning before 6 a.m. I'm on my way back and I see something on the road. At first I thought it was a bag. Unfortunately, it was a raccoon. It had an unfortunate end, probably collided with a vehicle. Now, it was not living at the time, but it did display the characteristics of a living organism. So are we gonna get busy living or get busy dying? We need to take this moment so we can really break down this thing called life. Now, I'm coming from the life science aspect, but it's something that could truly apply to life because we all attend the school of the hard knocks. Now, when it comes to the characteristics of life, in the science aspect, there are 7 main characteristics, 7 things that define life. The first thing, they have structure. They have building blocks. All living things, even if it's some type of bacteria, all living things is made up of cells. If it has one cell, it's unicellular. Anything that has more than one, it's multicellular. So the first thing is structure. As we look at our life, as we look at our business, do we have structure? Do we have fundamental principles? What do we believe in? You know, some of us may say it's faith, it's finance, it's fitness, it's family. We have some common pillars like that, but we need to have our own fundamental principles. We also need to be able to grow and develop. We start out as babies and then we go through the infancy and we go through the toddler stage and adolescence and teenage years and we continue to mature, but at no point do we remain on the same stage and on the same level. We're constantly increasing, so we're growing and we're developing. Also, we're looking at genetic information, heredity, our legacy. When we talk about DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, we're looking at all of the information of an organism stored in one place, mapped out, just like an acorn. If I take that simple acorn and drop it in the ground, cover it with dirt, give it sunshine and water, eventually it's gonna sprout. Eventually we're gonna have a sapling and a full tree. And what is that tree gonna do? It's gonna produce even more acorns. So what are we passing on? What information are we passing on? What systems do we have in place in order for us to be successful when it comes to our health, when it comes to all the relationships, when it comes to our work life? Living things also have something known as homeostasis, which is a balance. There needs to be a balance. And when I mean balance, it may not necessarily be 50-50. You need to make collaborative efforts. You also need to do things that complement each other. So once again, it may not be 50-50. If I think about heat, my body as a human, 98.6 degrees. If I step outside and it's 30 degrees, that heat is gonna leave my body. It's gonna keep leaving my body until I reach the same temperature of the outside environment. And if it's 20 and 30 degrees, I don't need my body to be that cold. I'm not gonna be able to live. My blood's not gonna be able to circulate the way it needs to. So I gotta put something on. I gotta put things in place. I might have to put on that jacket to trap that heat so I can retain that heat. I need to wear fabrics that function as an insulation to protect myself, to limit the amount of heat that leaves my body. And it could be the other way around, where it's extremely hot. And I'm going to need that thermal energy or that heat to leave my body. So I might need to take this jacket off to allow some things in my life to release it. Because if I hold on to it, it's actually gonna do me a disservice. You also need to have a metabolism. So we all get energy. I mean, we naturally get energy from the sun. Where do we get that from? A lot of times in what we eat, we either get it directly or indirectly. We may eat the plants that get the energy from the sun. Some of us, no judgment, we eat the animals that eat the plants. And we have that transfer of energy and the way that we use our energy. So the resources that we get and the way that we use them, whether it's quality, whether it's quantity, the speed at which we use it, the effectiveness, that all deals with metabolism. What is our metabolism when it comes to life? What are the resources that we get? How do we utilize it? Are we wise stewards of our finances? Are we wise stewards of our relationships and all the things that we have within this life? Living things also are able to reproduce. What is it that we're making? Now, it may not have to be a physical product. But as we go through life, we already said we're growing and developing. Just like that acorn, it produces that sapling and that tree, and it produces more acorns. What are you producing? And when it comes to reproduction, from a science aspect, there's two parts. There's asexual and there's regular sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, it requires two of the same species to produce. We're looking at collaborative efforts. Asexual is when you have one individual that reproduces itself to some degree. So it works alone, but it's producing something. So whether we're working as an individual or using collaborative efforts, what are we producing? Lastly, how do we respond to stimuli? There are things that are going to happen in the environment in which we live. There are things that may come across the threshold of our little bubble. But how do we respond to it? We may not be able to change the environment, change what we encounter. Do we even respond to stimuli? I'll be honest, I have a group of students and they can be challenging. And I took a big piece of paper and I wrote on it. I have it over here. I know you can't see it, but it says, yesterday is yesterday. Today is the best day of the school year. And guess what? When I come in tomorrow, I'm gonna see that same thing. Yesterday is yesterday. Today is the best day of the school year. I could have had a great day yesterday, but today's gonna be amazing. I could have had a bad day yesterday, but guess what? I can make today amazing. This is your day. You are alive. There's 7 characteristics of life. I want us to strive to perfect each and every one of them because you are alive and you are amazing. So remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker, and I want you to have a life-filled, spectacular, amazing day.